15 strange fruits that look like aliens. Number 15. Ackee. These fruits that look like a bunch of bug-eyed aliens are called akees. The ackee is a fruit native to Western Africa and the national fruit of Jamaica and grow on huge 40-foot trees. Although it's a staple food in Jamaica and very popularly eaten, it can be very deadly. If eaten when unripe, it can cause something called Jamaican vomiting sickness, which is just as unpleasant as it sounds. Consuming unripe ackee can make you spew chunks until you fall into a coma or die. Number 14. Rambutan. Rambutan are fruits native to Malaysia, and they look more like a tiny deep-sea creature than a fruit that grows on trees. Rambutan comes from the Malay word for hairy, and it's easy to see where these fruits got the name. They have a bunch of long spines growing out of their hard exterior that gives them their strange appearance. When cracked open, they reveal a fleshy, egg-like center that tastes a lot like grape. Number 13. Durian. Durian is possibly the most infamously alien-like fruit on this list. It's become known as the smelliest fruit in the world, and that is definitely not an exaggeration. It contains chemicals that make it smell a little bit like sweet pineapples and melon, and a lot like sulfur, onions, and earwax. This completely strange fruit can be either very delicious or completely disgusting, and its beauty all depends on the nose of the beholder. Number 12. Monstera deliciosa. This strange fruit has a name as offbeat as its appearance. This is called a Monstera deliciosa, which basically means strange and delicious. That's a very suiting name for a fruit that's covered in paneled armor and looks more like a bare ear of corn than a fruit. Although Monstera deliciosa can be sweet and tender, it requires a full year to ripen and has to be prepared in a specific way to be eaten. If eaten too soon, the fruit can be toxic. In fact, all parts of the Monstera are poisonous except for the hidden flesh. Number 11. Romanesco. The Romanesco looks more like an abstract interpretation of a planet than an actual edible food. A lot of people describe this odd-looking vegetable as a cross between broccoli and cauliflower. Okay, yes, this is technically a vegetable, but classifications can be so abstract. Plus, we had to include this completely unearthly-looking food. The florets actually make a Fibonacci fractal. Basically, it's a naturally occurring mathematical miracle. Number 10. Wood apple. To many of us Westerners, the wood apple looks completely unfamiliar. It kind of looks like a wooden coconut filled with strange-looking pulp, although they're pretty much non-existent in the States. In Sri Lanka, they're as abundant as any other innocuous fruit. The wood apple has an outer exterior so hard it has to be cracked open with a small hammer. Number 9. Salak. The salak is also called the snake fruit for obvious reasons. Personally, I think it looks a lot like a dragon egg. The fruit has a scaly and prickly outside that makes it look and feel like an inedible cactus. When you peel off its hard exterior, on the inside is a very sweet and nearly addictive fruit. It's a loved delicacy in the regions it's native to, but die-hard snake fruit fans have to be careful not to overindulge. Eating too much of it can give you a pretty painful bout of constipation. Number 8. Dragon fruit. These strikingly vibrant fruit have a completely unique look and taste. Their fiery and otherworldly appearance earned them the nickname dragon fruit. They may not be in your local Walmart, but you should definitely try to get your hands on one of these if you can. The fruit looks kind of like a bowl of cookies and cream, but the flavor is described as a combination between a watermelon, a kiwi, and a pear. Number 7. Starfruit. These cute fruits look like they fell straight from the sky. Starfruits are popular not only because of the fact that they look exactly like a 5-pointed star, but because they're delicious too. They have a sweet plum-like flavor, and you can eat them whole. Fun for friends, family, and the casual star-eating black hole you have over. Number 6. Sugar apple. The sugar apple is also known as the sweet sop, and it's native to Pakistan, India, and the Philippines. The fruit looks more like a fleshy green pine cone than a sweet snack, which makes it even more surprising. When cracked open, it reveals a sweet, white, fleshy inside with a sweet fragrance. And it tastes like custard. Custard that grows on trees? Count me in! Number 5. Puhala tree seed pod. The Puhala tree seed pod doesn't resemble anything edible from the outside. It kind of just looks like a large seed hanging from a tree. When taken apart, though, it looks even stranger and more interesting. A half-open Puhala seed pod looks like a slow-motion explosion. Each little segment on the outside has a wedge-shaped fruit that extends all the way to the core. The fruit has a sweet taste and is an essential food for the Micronesians where it is native to. The fibers of the plant can even be turned into dental floss. Number 4. Noni. The noni is a fruit that goes by many names. It's also known as the Indian mulberry, the cheese fruit, and the vomit fruit. Yes, vomit fruit. This looks like an unpleasant cocoon for some weird caterpillar. If you're worried about feeling artificial for judging this fruit's appearance, don't worry. It has nothing going for it on the inside either. The noni gives off a cheesy, pukey smell that is already off-putting for most people. But if you still want to eat it, you'll get a nice bitter taste and almost no nutritional value. Eat up! Number 3. African horned cucumber. This isn't your average cucumber. The African horned cucumber has a uniquely bumpy yellow exterior and a green fleshy inside that gives it the appearance of something extraterrestrial. Don't let its spiky armor fool you. It's actually super sweet with a pleasant tartness. The taste has been described as a cross between melon, cucumber, lime, and banana. If you think this fruit is completely alien, so did a bunch of other people. This fruit was actually featured in an episode of Star Trek as a melon from another planet. Set phasers to yum. Number 2. Chinese artichokes. These things look more like a squirmy pile of grub worms that will come alive any second and wreak havoc. But they're actually a bunch of fruits called Chinese artichokes. Despite their strange appearance, they're actually very easy to grow and have a mild nutty flavor. Chinese and Japanese people use them sometimes as light garnishes in salad, but most of the time they're pickled. Anyone up for some pickled worm fruits?
And now for number 1. But first, be sure to subscribe for new videos every day.
Number 1. Buddha's hand. This lemon sprouting out a bunch of curly tendrils is a fruit called Buddha's hand. I didn't know there was a Buddha with a bunch of tentacles instead of fingers, but hey, the fruit actually has very little in terms of edible flesh. When you cut it open, it's almost completely rind. Despite that, the stuff goes for about $24 a pound. People mainly use it to add zest to their food and drinks, and some use the lavender-like scent to perfume their clothes or houses. So make sure you rub your creepy lemon tentacle thing on all your new clothes for that fresh, clean smell. Thanks for watching. Here's what's next. Watch 14 of the most bizarre Japanese game shows on the biggest